Hey, this is Robbie Grayson, and this is the last day of my free ebook promotional Welcome Back, Lazarus. So, hey, I want to thank everyone who's downloaded the book. I've had hundreds of downloads, and over the last several days, I've been able to maintain number one in a Kindle category, which is Kindle, free Kindle books, biographies, autobiographies, or professional memoirs, and then medical. So I did that on purpose because I knew it would kind of give me the longevity I needed to keep that ebook up there. Also, at one point I was 66, number 66, maybe number 111. I think yesterday, number 111 on Kindle nonfiction books. So, anyways, I want to thank everyone for downloading it. I've been doing this promotional on my regular page because I feel this is an important topic. I know it's an important topic for me. It's something that I've toyed around with over the last couple of years. It's something that's kind of been in my head. I've had many conversations with my wife, with my children, with close friends who come to the house, phone conversations, and with strangers about this. And I wanted to make a goal for myself, okay? And the goal that I wanted to make is that by the time my second born, Edith Grayson, graduated from high school, I would actually have this experience on paper and out there so I didn't have to keep thinking about it. Because you know how it is. When you have something in your head that you've not really been able to articulate or at least codify in a way that other people can enter into the conversation and help you kind of fine tune it, then it occupies a lot of your time. My second born Edith saved my life. She was the one who saved my life. She's kind of the watchdog of the house. I live in a pretty big house. And around 3:15 or so, she knew that something was going on. So thank God she was there. But the story that I've told is not about what I saw when I died. I want to make that clear, and I know a lot of people have latched onto that, and that's completely fine. But I just wanted you guys to know that it's not about what I saw when I died. It's about what happened when I was under. And what happened when I was under, which I struggled with for months, was that I consented to the vortex of those events, kind of knowing full well the consequence was I was leaving absolutely everything with which I was familiar. Now, I did not know at the time that I had been heavily sedated and that I was under for 30 hours. I really, at some point, after not being able to rouse myself after several cycles, I assumed that I was gone. So here's the thing. When you think about Lazarus dying, we have it from Mary and Martha's side. We have it from the earth side, what was going on. He was in a tomb. There were people who loved him, who were in mourning. His sisters were torn up over it. And then, as we know, Jesus, when he comes on the scene, he's torn up as well. And so after 3 days of him being in the grave, he's resurrected according to the account. Now, I've always assumed that Lazarus was as happy as his family at him being brought back. But 3 days down, there's a lot that happened, physiologically, emotionally, etc. And I've always thought that he was happy upon coming back. After my own experience, it made me really think, what is it like for people who've been close to the brink and they're brought back? Are they as appreciative for all the efforts that went into saving them as their family is, as their loved ones are? Are they as happy to be back? And I can tell you, through my own experience, that's not necessarily the case. At least my degree of excitement did not match the degree of excitement of those who greeted me when I woke up, and of my family and of my friends and of the hundreds of contacts that I had with people. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not happy to be back, but it means that there was something final with me. I guess that doesn't happen with people who instantly die. Maybe it happens with people who die gradually over a period of time, who are in hospice or who are terminally ill. But for me, in that in-between state, I literally snipped every thread to this life. So when I came back, physiologically, it was physiologically. Okay, I'm not talking about my happiness with being with my family, but physiologically, it was like, seriously? I went through all that only to cycle back around? And I feel like I've been at my 60% of my strength since then, of my emotional strength, which is one of the reasons I really minimize my contact with a lot of people. I've been selfish in that way. It's kept me sane, having a small circle of friends and kind of being off the grid. But the other reason I wanted to write this little booklet is, besides explaining to you how I consented to what was happening to me underneath while I was under, and when I came back, I've been married to my wife for 21 years. I've been faithful to her for 21 years. I've had lots of friends who committed adultery, and I have been like the sounding board for a lot of that. I've had a lot of friends who've had marriages fall apart, and I have to say my coming back and being able to face my family was not unlike those feelings associated with having cheated on your family. Kind of having that private agreement that, yeah, hey, let's just go. Let's abandon the family. That's at least how it registered in my brain after a couple of weeks of being back. I really got into a deep funk. The other thing is being around people who like to intellectualize the experience. Now, keep this in mind. I was under. Okay, it was an in-body experience. It wasn't out-of-body experience for me. It was an in-body experience. That is to say, there was no one for me to talk to. I wasn't even talking to my brain. But all these sensations, all the things that were happening to me were being kind of translated into these very strong emotions. So when I have shared with people that my experience was like, and they go, oh, I know what was going on, and then they want to overlay some intellectual or some spiritual or very well-meaning conversations or purposes attached to it. But you have to understand, it completely alienates me. My brain just completely goes blank. I'm like, okay, no, this isn't the person to talk to, because I don't need someone lecturing me. I don't need someone telling me, hey, Robbie, you can do it. God has you here for a purpose. I assume that I understand. I just assume that I understand that, and assume that other people understand that too. That's not the discussion. The discussion is that, imagine that you were a baby. Okay? And imagine that you were intellectually conscious at the time that you were born. Now, obviously, we weren't. We weren't aware like that. But you know what? Didn't stop you from screaming. Didn't stop you from, wanting to be fed or, complaining whenever your stomach hurt. But, you weren't pretentious about it. Babies just did it. And if their stomach hurt, sometimes, as a parent, you can't tell if it's their stomach, or if they're hungry, or if, I don't know, a mosquito bit them or stung them or what. You're not quite certain about that. So as a child, being young like that is to say, being in your body and not having an intellectual correlation for it, you don't always know why you're this way. I don't always know why I suddenly get a drop of emotional energy when my phone rings, or when I see someone pull up the driveway. By the way, hey, anyone who wants to come see me, please be welcome too. My point is, I've learned that whenever those sudden drops of emotion happen, I've got to isolate myself and figure out what in the world's going on. But it was a different language. And so my encouragement to people, and I've had a couple of complaints, well-meaning complaints, that, hey, your book just stopped suddenly. And really, quite honestly, one of the major points I wanted to make is, don't talk people to death when they have an experience like this. They don't want to hear it because they're not vibing on that intellectual level. If you can find a way not to talk, or a way that doesn't use symbols to illustrate that you're there with them, that you understand them, that's even all the better. Sit down and watch a television show or watch a movie with a buddy or a friend or a loved one. You don't have to, ask them, hey, so, what are your goals for this year? Oh, gosh, I don't know what my goals are for this year. Except I know what my goal is for now, but not for the future. So again, there does appear to be a personality shift after, life-altering situation. Okay, one more thing I wanted to say. Okay, well, I've already talked about it. What love looks like. Love doesn't always have to be verbal. So, anyways, hey, my book, is available today for free. I've got the link right below. Please share it. Hey, again, thank you guys very much. If you have any questions, I'd be very happy to take them. I can't always answer all of them, and I've had a lot of wonderful people articulate this better than I. But now that it's off my chest, that's great. I can move on to other things I feel. So, anyways, thank you very much.